What's going on, people, and welcome to Man Knows Football. You are here with Guni and the return of Big H, not the MC from Tottenham, the Meridian side, not that one. We're talking about Mr. H here. How you doing there, Mr. H?
I'm all right, but yeah, man, I got a lot to get off my chest from the last time we spoke, boy. So I'm all right. It's just a shame my team's fucking shit.
Right, so before we really get into the content, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe. All of that good stuff have been amazing so far. We're very close to coming up to 1,000 subscribers. We just need you lot to keep sharing as much as you've been sharing and showing love. So thanks again for that one. Nate, where do we begin with Arsenal Football Club? Your first 3 games have resulted in a loss and you've conceded 9 goals. I'm not even bantering here.
Nope.
And 9 goals have been conceded. The players in their last game, obviously, you 10 men against Manchester City, but I'm not even going to lie to you. I reckon whether it was 10 or 11 men, the scoreline possibly would have been the same, because the defensive issues at Arsenal at the minute are just it's hard to ignore, man. It's actually becoming quite sad to see, and that's coming from a Chelsea fan. Like, I don't even want to banter Arsenal no more, because it's just come to a point where it's like, hold on a second here. Now, this was once upon a time the pride, literally the pride of London and the pride of England, up there at the forefront, battling for everything. And your fans were lied to. You were moved from a legendary stadium, beautiful stadium, lots of history. You won so much there, to be promised to be competing with the likes of Bayern Munich and the big boys and that. That's Kroenke's words that I'm literally paraphrasing there.
Yep.
And it looks like the diametric opposite has happened. Obviously, it's not got to as bad as relegation. You're not there yet. I don't think you'll be relegated this season. But Nate, just talk me. I'm gonna let you have the floor here. Just talk me through your grievances. There doesn't even have to be a particular starting point. Just get it off your chest, my bro.
Nah, it's just more of the same fuckery, innit? Like you said, we were sold that dream, and I get it, innit? It was never going to be an overnight thing. The whole rebuilding of the club and blah blah blah. I get that, but nothing has changed, and we've been there 13, 14 years now, some shit like that. If anything, we're going backwards. So yeah, it was lied to, but this ain't about that at the moment. This is more about Arteta and what the team's doing and what the team's not doing. Like, this ain't about Kroenke and that at the moment, because they've given him money to spend this summer, and they have. We spent pretty much more than anyone. I don't necessarily know if it's been invested correctly. I mean, again, you already know my thoughts on the Ramsdale deal. I feel like that could have went elsewhere. But then again, even that goes back to Arteta, because last year, if we hadn't sold fucking Martinez, we wouldn't be in this problem. So, yeah, man, the buck stops with Arteta, man. I'm sick of it. I have been saying for the longest, give him time. But I'm just sick and tired of it, man. And I get it. There's different factors, right? You know, we have been hit by COVID and injuries and all of that. But nah, that start to the season is outrageous, man. You know, win the Brentford game and then lose to Chelsea and City, and most people will be like, you know what, was kind of expecting that, and then it don't look that bad. But it's the fact that you set the precedent at the Brentford game and then go and lose to Chelsea and City like that. It's a joke, man. He's got to go, man. And that's like the first time I'm saying that. But yeah, I think it's time for him to go, man. Especially when a whole Conte is out there. If he would come, of course.
Well, this is my thing with Conte, though, because obviously we've had the Conte experience there at Chelsea. 2 clubs in completely different situations. Yes, we finished 10th this season before, but looking realistically at that squad and what Chelsea are about, and in terms of what was going to happen going forward from then, we almost knew that was never going to happen again. But Conte coming in, you got to understand, Conte was given a budget. Conte was at a club where he was able to still attract Kante without European football. Because although what saved Chelsea that season was, yes, we finished 10th, but look at all the success that we've had before that. We could actually say to players, look, this is just a momentary blip that won't happen again. Just consider this part of the rebuilding phase of the club. We're going to come back into winning ways. So there's that. Now, the reason why I bring that in is because Conte is very much like when he wants something, he wants something. If Arsenal can't offer him what he wants, and if he feels that he can't compete with Arsenal, he won't take the job. Or if he does take the job now, and already seen like the rift between the board and the fans, and then there was uncertainty between the board and the manager being backed, that already is going to spell problems with Conte. And if he's not given what what he wants, he will go out there and he will buy third, fourth choice, and he'll stick them in your team, overpay them with the wages, and you're going to have to deal with it. That's what he did to us. And you're going to have to deal with trying to get them out over the next 3, 4, 5 seasons.
Yeah, we can't afford that, man. We still got enough players in that team that should have been out years ago. The fact that Granit Xhaka is still there, and that's just one, is a fucking joke. You know what I mean? These players should have been out years ago. So we don't need no more of that if Conte is going to come in and do that. But listen, man, it's again, how successful do you want to be in it? If you're the owner, you're Kroenke and whatnot, you got to move heaven and earth to get him. And yeah, of course, you know, if you promise him certain things and you don't deliver on them and he leaves, then fair play to him, man. But Arteta is not the way forward, man. I don't think. He's not shown me any. I think winning that FA Cup bought him a bit more time, of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
First X amount of months, but take that away and it has been diabolical. And again, I know, it's interrupted by COVID, but every other team was as well. There's no excuse for that shit. Last season was diabolical. The start to this season has been shocking. And to be honest, after the international break, because this is what I mean, they're not going to get rid of him. They won't. You look at our next, 3 games. We've got Norwich at home after the international break, Burnley away, and then Tottenham at home.
Right. So let me ask you a question, Nate. Yeah?
Yep.
If Arsenal don't get a result against Norwich, if Arsenal lose to Norwich,
yep,
surely the situation becomes so untenable that he has to be given a P45. Surely, because that's 4 games on the trot. That's 0 points out of 12 for Arsenal Football Club.
Yep. I'd like to hope so, like to think so, but again, our board, they've never really been known as being trigger happy. But
is it trigger happy at this point, though? Is it trigger happy at this point, or is it we've got to stop the bleeding, stop the hemorrhaging here?
Listen, I might not necessarily call it trigger happy because again, it's not like he's been there X amount of years now, and it's been pretty much just fuckery. Basically, we don't have a definitive way to play, we don't have a definitive style, and identity. What were you trying to do? Like how when Wenger was there, it was Wenger ball and all that sort of shit, and even Emery to a degree had a way that he wanted to play, wanted to press and blah blah. What do you see in Arsenal at the moment, which is showing you a way that he wants to go? I think if we do lose to Norwich, it should be untenable because in there will be absolutely fucking toxic. That'll be the first game that I'm back at. I mean, thank God I missed the Chelsea game the other day. But in there'll be toxic, man. In there'll be absolutely horrible, and I just don't see how you then go away to Burnley, which is obviously a tough place to go anyway, with this big cloud on your head. And then, of course, Tottenham the week after that. I don't know, man. He's got to go, man. He's got to go.
So, I agree that Arteta, for me already, like the situation's untenable. He should have not been seeing Arsenal into this season even. I think he should have been left at the door from last season. All right, thanks. End of the season, we're going to look for somebody else, new manager. That would have been my approach. It's just sort of going back to the manager topic because look, there's a time where obviously every club wants to win, but we also have to understand that there are transition stages now to get to becoming competing with titles and shit like that. Yep. You guys are a little bit behind in that development, and I say that respectfully.
That's a fact.
So when I hear, when people are saying, no disrespect, like Conte, Nagelsmann, and just basically the top shelf managers, this is my personal opinion. I think you need one before that, before you get to one of those managers, somebody who's gonna come in and steady the ship, as they say in football. We've had it as well. Arguably, they were saying Sarri came in to steady the ship, right? He done a good job. He won us a Europa. Then after Sarri, it was Lampard, this, that, and the other. He's come in to take over. But really what he ended up doing was doing exactly that, steadying the ship, bringing in some kind of foundation into the squad that the next manager who comes in can work from. And we're seeing the fruits of that now. Mason Mount, Reece James, all those boys, they're performing on a regular basis now. And we've got to give Frank Lampard that thanks for that. So something similar in that situation. Now, good manager for you lot, who I thought would have been, was Rafa Benitez. Obviously, he's gone over to Everton, but I think that manager of that kind of profile, who is not like a lower or mid-table manager, somebody who was won something, but who is not currently working at that top, like chasing European titles and this, that, and the other. Someone who just knows how to get shit together, bring structure back to the club.
I disagree. We've been in the wilderness too long, man. I really disagree. I think we now need. Listen, we obviously had Emery come in. Obviously, we had Lundberg in the interim, and now Arteta. No, I think we need one of those top managers. I'm fed up of this wishy-washy.
But here's the thing. But you see, when you get a top manager like that, for what you're proposing to do, and you've got a right to, as an Arsenal fan, of course you want to see the glory, and I completely agree with you. What I'm saying isn't trying to sabotage what you lot are doing. I'm not doing that. It's just sort of like I'm trying to show you that there's a process. So with that, I just lost my point now. Fucking hell, I just lost my point. I just lost my fucking point. But yeah, no, what I was saying with that is like, yes, that's the one. That's the one. So once you get in a top manager for what you want, you've got to understand that manager, most likely chance is not going to get what you want with this current crop of players. It's not going to happen. So then with that manager now, you're going to have to say, right, here's 300 million, 350, go in the market, and you're going to have to buy these world-class players.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You see how difficult, you see, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. So do you see how difficult that is to do that off the back? Because most of these managers want that.
Yeah, but something has to change, man. And to be honest, realistically, what manager is spending 300-400 million? That's not going to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
No one's doing that. But even the 140 or whatnot that Arteta spent this summer, like, yeah, you give that to one of the top managers. We can't have another mid manager or just below. We need that top guy now that's going to come in. I think Emery was that guy. He was like the level below. That didn't necessarily work. You've now brought in the young pet protege. That's not working. So now you need to change tact and try and go for one of those managers. And again, if you're looking at who's available, obviously Conte is the standout name because he's a free 100%. Agent and whatnot. There isn't really anyone else that's out there. I can't see anyone wanting to leave the top teams to come. So he would have to be the obvious choice. And my fear will be, like has happened in the past, you know, we won't pull the trigger. Conte will end up going somewhere else. And then if we do get rid of Arteta, we'll be stuck with some bullshit. I'm hearing people talk about, you know, bringing Thierry and whatnot. And, you know, I love Thierry. That's a good for me. But no, that's just not the route to go. We don't need to go down that route anymore. So, and we've had this conversation privately. I think Conte would come to Arsenal. I do. As much as a shambles we are, you know, that name does still hold a bit of weight. It's a historically big club. I think a top manager would want to come in there and try and restore us to what we was. And at the moment, what we was would even just be us getting back into the frigging Champions League. You know what I mean? That would be a big thing, let alone challenging for leagues and that. It's got to be little baby steps, but it's got to be with a top manager, man. It has to be.
Right. So how about this? So for example, let's say you had this stopgap manager, in between that time, like I'm proposing. And at the end of the season, you finish in a Europa League position, right? I know you're not entirely happy with that, but again, that's progress. Because the progress that comes from that, A, you're back in Europe, B, you've got an opportunity to actually win that trophy and get into the Champions League. Mm-hmm. He does his job there. And then you get rid of him. That's when I'll see like Conte be like, yeah, you know what? At least they're in the Europa League. This is a squad that can compete in there. That's also a ticket into the Champions League. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm so something a little similar, not the same. Obviously, it was completely different with Lampard and Tuchel, but it's sort of like a similar principle. Do you know what I'm saying? Build the team, get them comfortable, let them finish at a decent level or whatever. Then when you understand that there's a standard after that can't be dropped, and that manager's taking you to as far as you've gone, you say, sorry, that's the end of it. Antonio Conte, here you are. You're going to build from here, and now you're going to take us here. You see where I'm coming from?
We sack Arteta tomorrow, then, right? What sort of names are you talking about? Because obviously I'm not on that. I'm like, fuck that. I want us to go for the top managers, right? What are the likes that you're talking about? And obviously Benitez is gone. So who's available, or who do you think we could get? Because like I say, I'm not on that. I don't want to be hearing these names. No, I'm not on that.
I'm trying to think of who's available. Did you make a good point?
Exactly. There's one elephant in the room, and his name is Antonio Conte.
No, you make a very, very good point.
That's
and
it.
Yeah,
we can't get another one of these guys. It's just going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same thing. I'm not on that, man. It's been too long of this nonsense.
Okay, so why do you think he would go to Arsenal?
Like I said, Arsenal is a massive club, man. Yep, we've been a shambles, but Arsenal's a massive club. You know, anyone who comes in and restores us to even halfway what we were is going to be an absolute hero. Now, I don't know, it does not for all people, but there is the law of London that does hold a lot of weight for a lot of people, players, managers, whatnot. There's loads of factors. The size of the club, possibly London. Again, that's just a wicked project. You know what I mean? The club is in a shambles. Come in. I can get this club back to somewhere what they were.
Would Conte go there after the previous affiliation with your rivals, Chelsea Football Club? Do you see it happening?
He ain't got no loyalty to Chelsea, man. You know why? He left on bad terms.
There's no loyalty in the game anyway. Yeah, there's no loyalty left in the game anyway. Yeah.
I don't think he cared. Listen, he was talking to Spurs. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, can't get worse than that.
That's arguably a more heated rivalry between Spurs and Tottenham than Chelsea and Arsenal. So he ain't got no loyalty. I genuinely think he would come. But again, this is all hearsay and what if. We have to be in this position for us to see how this was unfold. But there's no way that you're going to fire Arteta and not speak to Conte if he's still available. You're just not going to do it.
100%. Well, I can, if Arsenal haven't spoken to him at least by now, then I don't know.
Exactly.
Then I don't know for the club.
Let me tell you this, man. I've tweeted this. I've said, like, say what you want about Chelsea. Say what you want about Roman Abramovich. That's how you run things, man. You know what I mean? The game is about success, right? You wouldn't stand for none of this nonsense. Cut, throat, nothing long. It's not going right, you're out. It's not going right, you're out. It's not going right, you're out. I don't care if you're a club legend. I don't care if you're
do you know why that is?
Manager. And it works.
Do you also know why that is? Because you can have that, but it can still go horribly left. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. But why it works so much with Roman Abramovich is the fact that he supports Chelsea Football Club.
Of course.
That's the thing. He's up to date. He knows what's going on with the seniors, with the youth. He knows. He keeps attention to everything. So if he can tell, he doesn't need somebody to tell him, listen, boss, it's not going right. Because he knows, he sees it for himself. The man watches football. He knows what he's looking at. So that helps.
Okay, couldn't even, whether it be Stan or Josh, I'm sure they couldn't even name you a fucking starting 11. And it's true. That is the difference. Abramovich has been a constant at Chelsea since he's been there, bar his little hiatus because of other political shit, but he's there in it. You can tell he loves the club and blah blah blah. These men here, it's just a little cash cow for the minute. Yeah. They're here for the Rams, not us. So, but then again, like I said, right now, the ownership thing is a little bit irrelevant because that's 100%. Not going to change.
I agree. For this season, for this transfer window anyway, because they've done what was asked of them, what was needed to do. They've given the money, they put their hand in their pocket, and it's like you said, and I 100% agree. Once you do that, it now becomes down to the recruitment team and the manager. Now they hold responsibility. Contract renewals, outgoings, incomings. Those are responsible, and this is what I say. Yeah, I feel a bit like, you see, if a previous manager brings in a player and then the fans start saying, "Well, he didn't sign him. That's not his player." If you give him a new contract, it becomes yours because you didn't have to.
That goes back to Arteta and Edu. What are they doing? What are they doing? The player recruitment. And don't get me wrong, I think White will prove to be a good signing. I've liked the look of Lokonga so far. Again, Ramsdale, you know my views on him. I don't rate him, but he's there now, so I'm not going to start fucking abusing him, innit? I just have to back him. But again, it's deeper than that. It's just little things, isn't it? You know, you look at the defence that we're fielding out at the moment. There's no way in this life you're telling me that a fucking William Saliba ain't better than a Kolasinac at centre back, a friggin' a Pablo Mari, a Rob Hop. Like, what are you seeing? You know, pundits across the world, scouts, man that just know ball. Yeah, Saliba's a baller. Why is he not in this team? Why have you sent him out on loan? It's just dumb decisions like that. You got this whole Maitland-Niles mess again today. Right
Yeah.
back has been a clear problem for us. Yeah, Bellerin has not been the same for about 3 years since he mashed up his knee or whatnot. Yeah, you've played Chambers there, you've played Cedric there. The most consistent player that we've had there over the last couple of years has been Maitland-Niles. Now, granted, I know he said didn't really want to play there, want to play centre. It's not going to happen at Arsenal. Obviously, he went to West Brom, done his thing there, but he didn't stay up. Now, what Ornstein was saying is Maitland-Niles has said this season, look, man, I want to play fullback. Cool. Why are you not playing him now? Why is he not our first choice right back now? Instead, again, you're playing Suarez, you're playing fucking Chambers. It's just dumb decisions. Like, Arteta brings this shit on himself. And like I said, I've stood by it for too long, man.
Maitland-Niles actually posted something on Instagram earlier today.
Yep.
It was a post that says, and I've got it right here in front of me. All I want to do is go where I'm wanted and play. Wait, hold on. All I want to do is go where I'm wanted and where I'm gonna play. And he added Arsenal in that as well.
Yep.
And if that doesn't, because listen, look, we know this. Well, you know better that he hasn't been treated well at the club. So for anybody to come out and say, "Oh, why has he gone public?" Surely, I'm convinced by this point he's done everything that he can behind the scenes to do this quietly. And I think what's triggered this response is the fact that Arsenal have blocked his move to go to Everton on loan.
Yep.
So, which means that if you're going to do that, then surely play the boy, give him assurances, and actually play him on the field. But if you're going to keep him how he is, then this is just gross mismanagement.
What it looks, no, I agree. And I think what it looks like is, right, you don't want to get rid of him yet, maybe, until you've got cover in his position. But if you're playing him at right back, you've clearly got cover, which is not good enough, like I said, in Chambers and in Suarez or whatnot, because you're clearly not going to sell them by tomorrow. If anyone's going to go, hopefully it's Bellerin. So you could afford to let him go or just fucking play him. Play him at right back, and that's that. Simple.
He's a quality, and this is the thing as well. Maitland-Niles is a quality right back and right wing back.
Mate, he is a very good utility player. You can put him
100%.
pretty much anywhere, and he'll do a solid job for you, man. Like, I just don't get why he's not playing.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
We did the same thing last season as well with him.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is what I was gonna say, Nate. I said when I heard he was available for 15 million, I was like, Chelsea, why the fuck not? Why not? Why not? I'd take him.
Good player, man. He's a very good player. And if Everton get him, they're laughing. But then again, I say you let him go, but then you'll keep Chambers and Cedric, and that's a shambles, man. I guarantee you, a next manager would come in. So let's say, for argument's sake, it is Conte, and again, I don't know if there is a recall clause, something like that, but I'm sure a Saliba would get recalled. I don't think Guendouzi would have been sold. You know, as much as hot-headed as he was and whatnot, I liked him, man. I don't think he should have been let go.
Conte can handle characters like that. That's the difference. He's a man of balls, mate. If you even try and go against his authority, if he smells any kind of disobedience, he'll be onto you. He don't sleep on nothing, bro. And that's how he rules. It's like respect.
And there's a way to do it, and I get it. I think the whole Guendouzi thing unfolded because he'd obviously had a couple of issues, and then Arteta shipped him off. But there was a baller in there, man. I genuinely think we should have kept him. But yeah, again, like I said, it's just little decisions. You know, signing Willian. Obviously, no one knew how bad he was going to be. But when everyone saw that at the start of last season, he should have been dropped. You persisted with him over Pepe, and he done absolutely nothing. He's just, it's painful. It's painful at the moment, man. It really is. I can't wait until after the international break, man, just to see how these next three games, I know it's cliche, but these are all cup finals, man. And I don't think anything, that's got to be as an absolute minimum 7 points.
Facts.
And at one point,
Spurs.
mate, yeah. Yeah, don't lose to them. Don't lose to them, because I tell you what, beating Norwich and beating Burnley and then losing to Spurs will not paper over the cracks.
100%.
Even beating Tottenham won't paper over the cracks. But I'm just saying that can't run, man. That cannot run. And the fans they'll make it. They'll make it known, man. Trust me.
All right, before we go, I just kind of want to go on the flip side. So obviously you've looked at your first 3 games this season. On the flip side of things, do you think that Arteta and Arsenal are just the casualty of the fixture list? Because look, had it been, teams that were not performing so well in the first few weeks, the conversation might be different. So if these 3 so let me put it in context. So if these 3 losses came in the middle of the season, where you'd already played some teams and you picked up points, do you think the reaction would be the same?
No, it wouldn't, because again, you'd have those points already behind you, and like you would have shit in the bank in it. You would have performances and points and whatnot in the bank already. Cool. Every team is gonna have a phase where they're gonna lose maybe 3 games in a row, maybe 2 games, maybe a draw. Like, it's gonna happen. But again, it's because it's at the start and it's the way it's happened, isn't it? We got bullied at Brentford, a newly promoted side, right? Bullied at Chelsea. The tactics were just all off. Reece James had the absolute run of the field on the right-hand side. And City, all right, City is City, innit? I get it. Even with the 11 players, we most probably still would have lost. But then when that team sheet came out, what the fuck are you, like, again, Kolasinac, who's been trying to lead for the last however long, you're playing him. You're playing. So if it had happened later on, of course, people would have been pissed off. But it's just the way that it's happened and the things that have happened. It's been the tactics. It's just been the way we've been bullied. It's been the no clear way to play. So I think that's why it's been so bad, because it's the start of the season and the way it's happened. It's just not good enough, man.
Okay, so to conclude, Arteta out, Antonio Conte in.
Yeah, that would be my preference, but don't hold your breath. They'll give him another couple of games. They won't fire him during the international break. So yeah, I want him out, but he'll be there for the next 4 or 5 games potentially.
But then if they, within that time, arguably it's still salvageable to get in at least a respectable position in the league, than compared to what the situation is now. But that remains to be seen. And obviously the international breaks come in my least favorite time of the fucking season. I feel like we've had enough breaks, man. I just want non-stop Premier League football, man. Please come back to it.
Yeah, it's stupid. And I don't know why they do it. It's every year though, isn't it? It's the same time. Game. I can't look. Give me the international tournaments, but these international breaks are dead, man.
It's dead. So, I know.
And even though some people might be like, you know what, the international break has come at a good time for Arsenal. They can come back and regroup. Now, fuck that. Like, play your way through this shit now, man. So, yeah, I wish we had a game tonight, man. But it is what it is, man.
Thank you very much for joining us here on Man Knows Football. If you want to follow, you don't even do the whole social media thing, do you? I was going to say, if you want to follow this man, put his social media details down there.
You know what it is? I don't know, man. Like, you know what? You can put my Twitter on there as calm. Not my Twitter, because I'm not. I don't know. It's just like, you can put my Insta on there or whatnot, man, or Twitter, whatever. Put what you want. It's cool.
As you can see, you don't give a shit. So I'll put them on there anyway. If you want to follow. Obviously, you know where to find man. That Guni on right here. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Man Knows Football. We are out. Bless.